Could Kashi have been home to India's first great university, an ancient center of knowledge that predates even Nalanda and Takshashila? They say Rome wasn't built in a day, but neither was Varanasi. How could it be when its foundations were laid over millennia, shaping it into one of the world's oldest living cities? In fact, it is considered older than Jerusalem and Athens. Kashi, also known as Varanasi, is an ancient city older than history itself, a living testament to India's spiritual and intellectual heritage. Yet, hidden beneath its ghats, temples, and bustling streets lies an unsolved mystery waiting to be discovered. Hi, I'm Ruchika Arora, and today we're going to go on a journey into the timeless streets of Varanasi. For over 3,000 years, Kashi has been a beacon of knowledge, culture, and devotion, where the Vedas, Upanishads, and spiritual wisdom were taught, making it the cradle of India's intellectual and spiritual heritage. Ancient texts, historical accounts, and archaeological findings suggest Kashi was once home to an advanced educational tradition where scholars and sages studied disciplines from Vedic scriptures to mathematics, medicine, and philosophy. But could there have been a university-like institution in Kashi? And if so, what happened to it? Let's unravel this mystery. Kashi, in ancient texts, talks about it being the first seat of learning. Some of the earliest references to Kashi's intellectual legacy appear in the Vedic texts, dating back as early as 1500 BCE. The Rig Veda from 1500 BCE describes Kashi as a center of spiritual and intellectual growth. The Atharva Veda from 1200 to 1000 BCE calls it Vidya Kashi, literally meaning the city of knowledge. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad from 700 BC records philosophical debates held here. These were not just discussions, but profound inquiries into the nature of existence, reality, and consciousness. Even the Jataka tales, the ancient Buddhist scriptures, mention Kashi as a hub of higher learning, attracting scholars from distant lands. But this wasn't just an Indian phenomenon. Foreign scholars also recognized Kashi's intellectual legacy. Xun Sang, the Chinese traveler from the 7th century, noted that before Nalanda's rise, Kashi's scholars were already renowned across the subcontinent. Megasthenes from the 4th century, who was the Greek ambassador to Chandragupta Maurya's court, described Indian Brahmins as deeply engaged in mathematics, astronomy, and philosophy. While Megasthenes did not directly name Kashi, his observations align with what we know about Kashi's scholarly traditions. And Al-Biruni, an Arab traveler of the early 11th century, documented Kashi as one of India's most important centers of education, where Hindu scholars preserved knowledge through oral traditions and manuscripts. So, did Kashi have a lost university? Some believe that beneath modern Varanasi, hidden within its labyrinth tunnels, lie the remains of lost centers of learning, places where knowledge once flourished. Could these underground passages be remnants of Kashi's ancient seat of education? So far, no archaeological evidence of a grand university complex has been found. Unlike Nalanda and Takshashila, which had large institutional structures, education in Kashi followed a different model. It was not a single university campus, but in fact was a vast network of gurukuls and ashrams run by sages and scholars. This system attracted students from Persia, China, and Southeast Asia, as recorded in the Buddhist text and the Jataka tales. Kashi was not just a center of Hindu learning. Buddhist and Jaina scholars also flocked here. By the 6th century, Varanasi had become one of the most renowned Buddhist education hubs. Near here in Sarnath, the Buddha delivered his first sermon, and later, under Emperor Ashoka's patronage, the Sarnath monastery flourished, housing over 1,500 monk students. Even the Chinese traveler Xuanzang visited around 640 BCE and observed how both Buddhist and Brahmanical scholars in Kashi studied and debated passionately. So while a university-like structure may not have existed, Kashi never stopped being a seat of learning. The great scholars of Kashi. Even if there are no ruins of a university found, we do have something just as valuable: evidence of legendary minds who studied and taught in Kashi. Patanjali, who was the father of yoga and the Sanskrit grammar, Mahabhashya. And then we have Sushruta, the father of surgery, who accounted for over 300 medical procedures in the Sushruta Samhita. And Bharadwaja, an ancient sage whose texts explored Vedic science and even contained references to early aviation theories. During the medieval era, great spiritual and philosophical figures left a lasting imprint on Kashi's wisdom and traditions. Shankaracharya from the 8th century reinforced Hindu philosophy through debates in Kashi. And Kabir, the 15th century poet, saint, challenged religious orthodoxy with his timeless verses on unity and devotion. Tulsidas from 16th century enriched Kashi's literary heritage with Ramcharitmanas, making the Ramayana accessible to all. Even Mughal rulers, despite military campaigns, acknowledged Kashi's wisdom. Dara Shikoh, the scholar prince, studied Hindu philosophy under Kashi's learned men. The legacy of learning continues, even after foreign invasions and the colonial rule. Kashi remained a hub of knowledge. In 1916, Kashi's educational spirit was reborn in the form of Banaras Hindu University, now one of Asia's largest universities. Even today, traditional Sanskrit schools and Vedic institutions continue to teach Vedic scriptures, astrology, Ayurveda, and philosophy, much like their predecessors did thousands of years ago. Despite evolving through centuries, Kashi remains a living symbol of Indian knowledge, culture, and tradition. So, is Banaras a mystery waiting to be rediscovered? Was Kashi home to India's first university? While we may never uncover the ruins of Kashi's lost university, the evidence clearly suggests that for thousands of years, Kashi was India's intellectual capital, a city where knowledge thrived, great minds were born, and where the pursuit of wisdom continues to this very day. That is the timeless beauty of Kashi, adapting with time, yet never losing its soul. Like the Ganges, the flow of knowledge in Kashi never stops. Some legacies aren't written in stone. They are written in the minds of those who continue to seek knowledge, just as they did in Kashi centuries ago. Kashi was never just a city. It was and still is a university without walls. Today, this sacred city calls Kashi a symbol of India's eternal spirit. He's often quoted Mark Twain saying, "Banaras is older than history, older than tradition." And under the PM's vision, Kashi is not just preserving its past, it is embracing the future. As long as knowledge, devotion, and culture thrive, Kashi will remain what it has always been, a center of learning and the beating heart of India.